Hey, beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. I guess you can call it a podcast. And today I'm going to do Married at First Sight. I started purposely on this episode because I don't care about the other episode. The episode where they're like getting prepared and all that. I don't care about that. I'm sorry, I don't. Okay, so let's talk about Married at First Sight. Season 13, episode 2, Houston, we have a marriage. So we open the episode with Michaela and Zach, and her sisters are coming in to wake her up. Okay, so she has 3 sisters, and that's huge. I have 2 sisters. They're like best friends, so she has 3 of them, and I love it. The sisters have really cute braids in their hair. Like, they all look very cute. Michaela is very cute as well. However, her hair was scaring me. I'm like, what's going on up there? What's going on? But I'm gonna give it a chance because she's about to get married, so she's about to get it done. So Michaela's in her confessional saying that she wants a man who's like her father, kind, strong, and would keep her safe. And she's crying because apparently her father is no longer with us, so it's very sad. So then we meet Zach, and his brothers come to wake him up, and they're jumping all over him and everything. They tell him, get up. Very nice looking family. Very nice looking brothers. He's nice looking as well. And he's fully dressed. He just jumps up and puts on his shoes, and I'm like, okay. So this was very scripted. Of course, we already know that, but they didn't even try. But he gets up to go get ready. He also says that his parents have been married for 27 years. That's huge. And his oldest brother is engaged, and his youngest brother is in a long-time relationship. So he comes from just a household that believes in relationships, and that's what he's always wanted. So back with Michaela and her sisters, she has a sister, Sharifa, who says, hopefully everything goes well, but the one thing that we're concerned about is how stubborn you are. And she says, we have a running gag in the family, and we call her Hurricane K. She says Hurricane K comes in fast, hot, mean, destructive, and all that. And they're all laughing, and I'm thinking, that's not funny, and it's not cute. So Michaela says when Hurricane K comes out, she don't care who the fuck you are, what you do, how much money you make. She just goes in and she's all business. And then when she comes out of it, she's like, oh, I'm sorry, such and such. And I don't know. Problem is, I'm kind of the same way, or at least I was the same way, where I can kind of blow up and everything. And then once I think about it, like, all right, my bad, but it's something that I've been working on for many years to try to control it before it comes out. Like, don't blow up. And I don't think I blow up as much. I can say some shit though, but I don't think I do it as much as I used to when I was younger. So maybe that's something that she can work on in the long run, because it's also something that we were talking about with the twins. Sorry, little crossover from Encore, the Cherished twins. They get their shit off, like they say what they need to say about you, but then they come back and they apologize. You can really only get away with that for so long until it's like, okay, that's not cool. Watch your mouth. So again, she's young, so hopefully she's working on it. And the way they're laughing about it though, like it's cute. Yeah, I hope she's working on it. She says if her husband is who she needs him to be, she's not concerned. He'll be able to manage it. And yeah, I'm on the fence with the whole managing. I don't need anybody to manage me, but I think I understand what she's saying, where it won't be a huge deal. Yeah, I just think Michaela work on it so that it's not a whole lot for him to manage. They are getting their hair together though, you guys. Is that all her hair? That's a lot of hair. And I know she's natural, and I do see when they show her natural hair, but I also know that when you press out natural hair, it goes crazy. Like, you can have some really, really long hair, and of course there's shrinkage. But is that all her hair? Because it really looks like all her hair. So we're back in the limo with Zach and his brothers, and Zach is really emotional. It's very cute, and they're hugging him and consoling him, and he just said that he doesn't know what to expect. Basically, he's really hoping that she likes him. He's 27, and I believe she's 30. But yeah, he's getting very, very emotional because it's a really big deal to him. Okay, you guys, he's doing a lot of uncontrollable crying, like a lot of crying. And I'm okay with men crying. Please, feel your feels, get it all out. I'm not okay with men crying a lot. I don't like super sensitive men. Don't be super duper sensitive. So I really need for him to dry that shit up quick. I know it's supposed to be a very, touching scene and all that, and it was for the first 5 minutes, but now it's beyond and he's uncontrollable and I need for him to dry it up. So then we have Michaela sitting down with her sisters and they give her something blue in a box and she opens it and right away she just starts crying. Very touching scene. And yeah, they got me because I think it was a Star Trek like spaceship. It was blue and the sister goes on to explain how their father was a Trekkie and now they're Trekkies for life. So touching. And I'm like, I can't be crying off of Married at First Sight, y'all. It's such a beautiful gesture, and they let her know that their dad is with her now. So, yeah, they got me. So Michaela lets us know that her father was taken from a drunk driver, and that is so tragic, you guys. I cannot imagine. Like, I feel awful that they had to go through that because that is extremely tragic. Just someone's worst nightmare. Just losing your parent, number one, and then losing them unexpectedly and tragically like that. Yeah, I feel awful for them. But she is able to get a little smile out of it because she looks at it and she says she's now going to explore the beyond. And yeah, they all get a little laugh out of that. So very, very cute scene, very touching. So now it's game time and we have all the family members piling into the venue so that they can go sit down. And then they show Zach and his brothers walking down and he's saying how nervous he is. He's just ready to be in love and hopefully that happens for them because I really think he's a sweetie. Yeah, he's sensitive because he starts crying again with his mom and then his mom is like... she's like hugging him and she's like, oh, my sweet angel. And I'm like, that's why he cries a lot. Just let him go a little bit, Mom. But still another very, very sweet scene. And their family is beautiful. They have a beautiful family. Okay, so we have Michaela doing her confessionals, and I really like her. The way she said that, best case scenario, she walks down the aisle, she sees him, and she's like, oh my God, he's so handsome. She's like, worst case scenario, haven't even thought about it. And I like that. She's keeping it positive, and she's anxious to go see him. Okay, so he comes out and you guys, I like him so much. He's like stopping. He kissed his dad down on his way down the aisle. He stops and speaks to her mom and he's such a gentleman. And the way that he's like, yeah, thank you. Not cutting him off, but just being extremely respectful. He reminds me of my nephew Malik, whom I love like crazy. So anybody that reminds me of him is a winner to me because, just a gentleman through and through and very charismatic and charming. I like him. And the mom was very sweet too. Her mom, she's like, I can't let her do anything because he says, thank you for letting her do this. She's like, I can't let her do anything, but God bless you guys. And she's all smiles and everything in this moment was just so genuine. I just loved it. You guys, when she came out, oh my God, they had the biggest smiles. That was the best reaction of all time. That was the best reaction. Like, they looked so relieved and so happy with how the other person looked. They were so happy. I thought they knew each other. Like, he just had this huge smile on his face. She did as well. He looked relieved as hell, and it was just a really good moment. I was so excited. So she walks up to him and she's like, oh my God, you're gorgeous. And he's like, you are too. And they just have really good chemistry. The smiles never leave their faces. And he asks if she's nervous. She's like, yeah. But the way they look at each other, oh my God, I'm in love. I'm in love with their love. Hopefully they get to love, but I'm in love with their chemistry. The way they were looking at each other, and he's like, you nervous? She says, I'm excited. She says, are you nervous? He says, yeah. And she says, I got you. And doesn't blink an eye. So cute. Okay, so they found out each other's names, and I don't know what the relevance is of his name being Zach, but she screams and kind of catches people off guard. And she's like, so do you want a Zachary Jr.? And he's like, that's up to you. And I think she's very cool and down to earth, but I think she got to pull it back a little bit because cool and down to earth can just go a little bit too far if you do a little bit too much. So I just want her to pull it back a little bit with the silliness. So we have the moment where the officiant tells a little bit of what the family thinks of each other. Michaela's family was able to tell him some things about her, very nice things. And of course, Loyal was in there. I did notice that Loyal was in both of their, Their families think they're both loyal. That's major, so that's good. Then he says his vows, very, very sweet. And she's like, okay, let's go. And his dad starts clapping. It really looks like his mom and dad likes her a lot already. So they're married, and the officiant says, you can kiss your Michaela. And he's like, can I kiss you? She's like, yes. I think she was waiting on that. I think she pulled him in. But yeah, he kissed her. So walking out, she's telling her family, look at him, he's gorgeous. And then as soon as they get into the hallway, she's like, yeah, you're so handsome. And I'm like, okay, girl, he is, but let him shower you with some of those compliments because you're beautiful as well. He's very handsome, he is, but let him get some of his compliments off now. So they're talking, learning a little bit about each other, and they learned that, well, she guessed that he was 32, and he's like, no, younger. And she's 30, so then she guessed that he was 27, and that was correct. She says, oh, you got yourself a cougar. He says, no, I prefer older women, so that's good. So she says, they describe you as a Renaissance man, so tell me more about that. He says, yeah, when we were growing up, our father taught all of us guys how to crochet and make lotion, and her mouth is just wide open, and they're playing this music like like she is just baffled by what's going on. And she goes, okay. Like her voice go way up there because she's trying to figure it out. He says he can still crochet, he thinks, but he doesn't do it anymore. And when I tell you guys, she's just looking so confused, but she's smiling, but looking confused. And he says something about computer programming and technology, so he's into that. So, that's good. And she's like, yeah, that's nice. I swear her voice is way up there at the totally confused state. So in the confessional, they say how they really like each other. He says she's gorgeous, beautiful smile, and confident, and he's happy about that. She says he's confident. Of course, she likes the way he looks, and she likes his goofiness. She likes the way he's, kind of shy. Sounds like a match made in heaven. Let's see. So Michaela says on a scale of 1 to 10, she thinks their chemistry is at a 9. She says, of course, she finds him extremely attractive and she could have sex with him. She says, yeah, she could definitely have his kids just by looking at him. And I'm thinking, oh my God, they're going to be getting it in so much. I mean, just imagine if Chris and Paige were getting it in all day, every day, and he didn't even really like her. If these two really like each other, they're going to be very busy. Okay, so now we have Myrla, I think, and they have her as the picture perfect princess, and Gil, Mr. Caring and charismatic. I can let y'all know already that I'm not feeling this couple, you guys, so I might be a little, I don't know, we'll see, but let's get started on them. So Gil is with his friends and they're looking for his tux, and he tells them that he wants something traditional but with a little bit of color, and his friend says flamboyant. He says nope, not flamboyant, just a pop of color. So it seems like he can dress. I like what he was looking for. He's a firefighter. He's tall, dark, and handsome, as she is going to say a number of times in this episode. But I do think he's nice looking. I love bald men, so yeah, he's nice looking. So now we're with her and her friends, and they are trying to pick out a bridal gown. And immediately, as soon as she opened her mouth, I knew I didn't like her. She was just like negative, and I don't want this, I don't want that, I don't want shiny, I don't want long sleeves, I don't want... It wasn't what she wants, but what she don't want. And it's like, girl, switch it up. So in her confessional, she says she's not willing to switch up her lifestyle. She says she loves to travel and have nice things, do nice things, and that's not something that she's willing to switch up. I need to find out how old she is, because she looks like 47, and I'm not even trying to be rude because I'm not feeling her. She looks old as hell. So Pastor Calvin comes on saying that even though Myrla, I guess that's how you pronounce her name, she's a bit of a diva, they feel like Gil can balance her out and he's not a pushover. And to me, I don't know how they match people. I don't know that I like that. Like, that goes back to him being able to handle her and manage her. And somebody should not have to do that in a relationship. Like, why would you set him up with somebody that you automatically know he has to go in trying to manage? That's not cool. You guys, I don't know if you all know Just Julesy, but I saw her video that she did on Married at First Sight. I think it was last week. And she said how she did a video on how toxic the black men are that they have on this show. And I never looked at it that way until she broke it all the way down. And then she also said where Pastor Calvin did an interview, and he said they literally have to go look for black men to be on the show. And he said most of the ones that they find, not all, but most, don't want black women. They want women outside of their race. And I ain't gonna lie, I was pissed off about that. I'm like, really? And as soon as I saw this couple, I had that in mind. I'm not gonna lie. Like, as soon as I saw them, I was like, oh, okay, Gil. Although I believe Gil is mixed, but I don't know if that really gives him an out for me. I just really did immediately go back to that interview. Her, I can't really deal with. I don't like her at all so far, you guys. Unless she does something to drastically change, I'm not feeling her whole attitude. She was trying on dresses and she didn't like any of them, and then finally she found one, but everything that came out her mouth was negative and no. And I'm like, girl, she was just a waste of space on this episode to me. So it's their wedding day, and we have both parties with their friends giving them pep talks. And Gil's friends tell him, one of his friends tell him, go in thinking positive and don't think about what could go wrong, because then, you're going to find everything wrong. So I thought that was really good advice. Gil lets them know, though, that he doesn't like materialistic women. That's just not something that he's into. And again, I go back to, I'm sure that was on his evaluation. And why would you purposely put him with someone that is openly materialistic? So I don't know, you guys. Maybe I shouldn't have watched that review with Julesy, because now I'm just watching this a totally different way. I don't know. So yeah, they're about to get married. Let's see what happens. She looks nice. She still looks old, but she looks nice. So Myrla's brother Juan goes and catches up with her because he's going to walk her down the aisle. Unfortunately, her dad is no longer with them, and he tells her that she looks beautiful. And she says, yeah, my feet are hurting, though, Juan. And I'm like, see? Right away, something negative. Instead of saying thank you and being in the moment, she has to throw out some negativity. He ends up crying, telling her, how beautiful she looks and it's going to be okay. And of course, she starts crying. All right, yada, yada, yada. Oh, I also forgot to mention about them that she told her friends she doesn't like bald head men. She loves hair, so she would like for her man to have hair. And I'm like, he's bald, and I'm sure that was on her evaluation. I'm not gonna say it all the time, but okay. All right, let's see how this goes. Yep. So coming in, she's doing her whole talk about how she hopes that he's everything she's ever dreamed about, and then when she rounds the corner and sees him, she goes, oh my God, he's bald. Okay, she's 34. Just want to throw that in there because they just showed it. And she says, my husband is bald, as she's coming down the aisle. I guess this is what she's thinking in her head. My husband is bald, but she's open to it. And I'm like, I bet you are, because he's good looking. So, and you like black men, clearly. So yeah, you're definitely open to it. I can't tell on his end. He just did like the smile, and then he kind of looked down and looked back up, but I couldn't really call how he felt about her. Okay, so he gives her compliments. He tells her she looks gorgeous and it's a very pretty dress, and she just says thank you and thank you, but no compliment back. I guess he don't look handsome. Damn. So here we have the officiant telling, what the families would like the other family to know about them, or like the other person to know. And Myrla's family would like for him to know that she's romantic, she'll give you foot massages, and she likes giving back. She'll go to a clothes drive dressed in all designer, but she'll go. And she's just laughing, and he laughed, but he just kind of looked a little, it was a little off-putting for him. And she likes to cook. She likes low-cal muffins and stuff like that. They say she'll hire someone to clean while she's busy doing her favorite pastime, which is shopping. And he goes, oh. And then they immediately zoom in to his friends, and their faces look like they're not laughing, they're not smiling. So apparently Gil likes to have fun, even if it's at the expense of making himself look bad. And he's like, that's not true. Um, he likes tequila and he loves chocolate chip cookies and salsa dancing. Okay, but it was funny how her mom looked at her brother when they said he loves tequila and salsa dancing. I was like, dang, mom, like no smile on her face. She just looked at him like, what does that mean, mom? I can't wait to find out what's gonna happen with this couple. I really can't. So Gil also has a pit bull mix. And she's looking like, And then she says, is he slobbery? And he says, no. And she says, okay, good. So Gil gives his vows. They're very nice, very touching. She gives her vows, and they start off nice. And then she promises to stand by him in her red bottoms. And the crowd laughs. However, Gil's friend Carlton does not think that shit is funny at all. Like, he even shakes his head a little bit if they're editing and showing how it's actually happening for real. You guys, I can't wait to see how this turns out, and let's go with the shenanigans, because you know this is gonna be some shit here, and I'm all for it. Bring on the mess. All right, so he kisses her on the cheek. You guys, I still can't call it with him yet. I can't. I don't know if he actually likes her or not. That's why I like it when we get a little bit further in, when they start telling the truth. Like, I ain't like when she said this, or, you know, when he came down the aisle, I'll just have to learn to live with him, like that sort of thing. I can't wait till they get to that part. Oh, okay. So in his confessional, he said he's mesmerized by how pretty she is. Okay. So she said she's attracted to her husband. She said the bald head threw her off at first, but not for long, because he has a really nice smile and kind eyes. She also likes his style and can't wait to see how he actually dresses outside of formal wear. He asked her how long she's been in Houston. She's been there for like 3 years. So he is originally from Colombia and says he's been living in Houston for the better part of his life. She says she's always wanted to go to Colombia. He says, well, you'll be going now. So he asks if she speaks Spanish. She says, sí. And she asks if he speaks Spanish. He says, yeah. My mom only speaks Spanish. And she says, good, because her mom only speaks Spanish. Oh, so maybe mom didn't understand the whole tequila and salsa thing. Maybe that's why she looked at her son for like some sort of translation. I don't know. Oh, so he tells her, I know, I already went and met your mom, and he was speaking Spanish to her. That was cute. Okay, so we learned something interesting. She says that the show reached out to her best friend, and he said no, but he does have a friend that wants to get married and have kids. So they find out that they both want kids. He asks her how many kids she wants. She says 1 or 2, and then he looks kind of strange, but she never asks him how many he wants. So I figure he maybe wanted more, you think? I mean, of course, the man who's not giving birth always wants more, but she at least could have asked him, like, take some sort of interest in what's going on with him. Lord, you guys, she is a leadership coach. She used to be a principal. I bet she was the main principal. And now she coaches, like, principals and everything. And don't you have to be positive to do something like that? I would think that you would have to be kind of uplifting and positive. I don't know how she does that job, unless it's not exactly what I'm thinking. Okay, you guys, I'm going to shoot her a little bit of bail and give her this, because I did like what she said about wanting to help, kids and make sure that everyone had the same quality education and everything. I like that. So I had something positive to say about her. So he tells her, listen, I've been wanting to ask you something. Do you like dogs? And she gives this look. And she's like, yeah, as long as they don't really shed and all that. And he goes, oh, I'm not gonna lie, my dog sheds. And she's like, And you guys, again, unfortunately, I have to be with her on this one. I'm not a dog person. They're fine, but I don't want to live with one. But she says, okay. And he's like, well, I'm a neat freak. So, the dog sheds, but I don't allow it. And I'm like, you don't allow it, or you just clean up after it right away? And she says, well, everyone defines neat freak differently. And I'm like, that was kind of a jab. I don't think he knows, or he got it, but that was kind of a jab. So she, in the confessional, just says she thinks she's irrelevant to dogs. And I'm like, irrelevant to dogs? Okay. But she says sorry to the dog moms and dads and everything, but she's not going to walk it if it's cold outside. All right, you guys, so it looks like that is the end until next week. And I know some of you are like, no, that's not the end. And she didn't touch on these couples. And you're right about that. I didn't because I'm not very interested. So if something happens in a certain week where I have an interest in what's happening with these other couples, then I'll speak on it. But right now, I'm only speaking on what I'm interested in. And I'll put it in either the description or the thumbnail who the review is about, but it's gonna be specific. I'm sorry, I'm not doing the entire thing. Miss Misha, I believe, does the entire thing, and also JBsayzwhat, I believe, does the entire thing. So please feel free to go and watch them if you want to hear about the other couples as well. Like I said, sometimes I may touch on them if they have something interesting going on, but other than that, sorry. So if you are still around, you are my real MVP, and I thank you. So please like, comment, subscribe, comment, you guys. But let's be nice because I feel like I was very judgmental in this review, so I might get some bad comments. It's cool. We can talk about it. Give me, your view of how everything is and the people. I'm open to that. But keep it cute. Keep it cute. But if you have not already, please subscribe, and I will see you guys next week for this and soon for another video. Okay? Smooches!